This church is the Church of St George on Portland. It fell into disuse actually in 1912, but in the 1960s a wonderful local group got together and decided to save the church. They formed the first Friends of St George, Portland, and after a couple of years they realised they couldn't do it on their own, and that's when the Redundant Churches Fund, as we then were, came in. The volunteers man the church. They come in the morning, they make sure the door lock is opened, they take the A-boards out so people know that the church is open and can come in and visit. And they act as guides. They're quite wonderful. And they give people a chance to purchase booklets, postcards, cards. They also have a lot of knowledge between them. I am the liaison officer, if you like, between the Church's Conservation Trust and our wonderful volunteers here at Portland. And together, I think we build quite a good team which plans events, looks after the fabric of the church, makes sure the publications are here, and above all, raises money to preserve the building.
I'm a volunteer and I'm a guide, and I see it as part of my role to put flesh on the bones of this church. People can walk in and see these great pews and the two pulpits and what have you, but there's stories behind all these, and I like to tell a good story.
When you volunteer for things, you get something back because you learn about a world that you never knew existed almost. And so I've learned more about the church and also about the issues about conservation, how you conserve buildings and some of the problems to do with that.
I was retired and I wanted to do something, but I wanted to do something with the church, so that's how I became involved in the Church Conservation Trust. Well, it's fantastic because we get different visitors. We could have some from America, some from Dorset, or some from wherever. They ask you questions about the church. Hopefully I give them the right answers. I've done a lot of research myself.
I joined because somebody I know is a guide here, and they were looking for more guides, so I thought it'd be a nice idea because it's such a beautiful church. It's helping putting the church back in the community so that it gets used more. We've had 2 exhibitions this year. We're going to have the children come in decorating Christmas trees, so that it's getting more and more used rather than to be dilapidated.
The Church's Conservation Trust is a tremendous enabler in helping to protect these buildings for future generations.
To have a future, the church has to be used by as many people as possible.
If we can get all this excitement back into this church, I think it just cannot be anything but good.